Fair to say more than a few on the right are still steaming mad at House Speaker John Boehner and many of their counterparts for failing to, as they call it, grow a spine in the continuing battle over immigration. This has even more steam maybe rising today with a spending package of over $1 trillion on the table and a federal government that is racing toward a holiday without enough money to operate. All right, let's dig in. He's been a member of the House of Representatives since 2011 in the 4th Congressional District, a member of the Committee on Oversight and Government Reform. Congressman Paul Gosar joins us here on MidPoint. Congressman, thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having me on, Ed.
We just spoke to Congresswoman Renee Elmers, and she is pretty confident that things are going to move ahead and a procedural vote's been taken and that everything will move forward and you guys will be home by Christmas. You agree?
Just hold that thought. Because I think we will be able to go to Christmas, but I don't think we'll be passing that omnibus bill.
Okay,
tell us. Omnibus, or whatever you want to call it.
Tell us why then.
Well, they barely got over the procedural hump of the procedural rule today that we just took it, then they won by 2 votes. And that was a display that people are very, very unhappy with the bill. 1,600 pages, and no one's read it. No one knows the complications or implications. Here we as Republicans, said you shouldn't have to pass a bill to find out what's in a bill, and yet we're doing the same thing. Enough's enough. What we've got to do is it's not just about immigration, it's about all the overreaches of this administration as well, from the waters of the U.S. to the Clean Air Act, to the Interior, to the Department of Justice. All of this needs to be articulated and embrace good behavior instead of rewarding bad behavior.
You and 65 of your colleagues recently signed an anti-amnesty amendment. Tell us about that and why you think that this is something that will succeed where other efforts may have failed.
Well, what this basically does is that stand for something or fall for everything, and that's exactly what we've been doing. And what we need to do is have a clear delineated message that what the president did was not, in our eyes, constitutional. He can defer the deportation, but not in this mass indefinitely. That's something that has never happened before. And we've got to stand together in regards to me as the District 4 representative as a placeholder, holding my place in Congress so that I'm just borrowing my voting card to be passed on somewhere else, to somebody else. And hopefully they'll have the same opportunity that I did. The Constitution imparts to me having sole jurisdiction in regards to those deals with immigration and naturalization. And this president has said otherwise. And so we have the power of the purse. We have to reassert ourselves in the power of the purse. And we have to get back to work and holding, like I said, this president accountable, rewarding him when he does good behavior, but holding back with the purse when he doesn't. And I think you do that with short-term CRs, not a big omnibus.
Congressman, are you one of those people then who believes, and again, I've talked about it here on the show, that there are people in your party who don't have a spine, need to grow one of those and basically stand up to the president now and stop tenderfooting around the issues?
Well, my point has been this: the president, unlike any other president who got the message on the wall on election day, chose to be an emperor instead of a president of the people. A lot of time, it's not what you want; it's what the people want. And listening, and he's chosen to go the opposite way. And so that embraces me that if I'm empowered in power to be placed in this, I have to come up with a strategy that makes this president take bad votes and make sure that the American people understand that he's not for them, he's for him. And that means that we have to get a series of small bills. Like I said, hold his hands accountable. I've not been calm about that. I've been no wallflower, calling out the Attorney General of the United States, and now this President of the United States. This is a wrong action, and the American people gave us clear dictation to stand for something and stop falling for everything. Will
you vote against the Cromnibus?
Absolutely. I'm not here to push a spending bill. I want us to work. I know that it's going to take extra due diligence because I want regular order, Ed. I want us to go and reinsert the process of going through each of these appropriation bills, which we haven't done, I guess, since the 1970s, and having a clear, open delineation in regards to that. And we shouldn't be afraid of the process. That process has worked for us very, very well. We've got to get back to having the transparency to the people and showing where money is spent, who is taking accountability for it, and making sure that we have the checks and balances that were bestowed to us by the Constitution. So,
I got about 30 seconds left here. Would you then be willing to shut down the government?
Well, we're not shutting down the government. That's what everybody fails to realize.
But would you be willing to, if this did not pass, if this budget bill did not
Government
pass and
slowed
everything
down
stopped?
in the last time, but it was never shut down because
Okay.
what happens, over 80% of all funding is actually spent on automatic pilot. That's what people don't realize. And this president chose to take it out on us. Hey, listen, the government was slowed down in last year in 2013, and who lost? The president and the Democratic Party. People woke up to what was happening in this country. They're tired of the emperor's reach, and they want accountability. And that means that we, as representatives, true representatives of the people, need to stand up and say, hey, no, can't go past go. Do not collect $200 and go directly to jail.
All right, Congressman, you've told us how you will vote. We appreciate your honesty here, and we will touch base with you again and see what happens. We thank you for your time and your comments.
You're welcome. Thanks, Ed.
Congressman Paul Gosar joins us. MidPoint will continue.